The reason why I like it so much, it's because it just deals with so many diverse techniques and media. So this is kind of something that might help. Just open your sketchbook on any random page and start sketching in the middle. So this way, if you create something terrible, it's kind of stuck in here, so you can always go back in here. Hi guys, my name is Ayna Paisley. I'm an artist from Moscow, Russia, and sorry for not greeting you with my face today. The thing is, I'm a little out of shape and I don't really want to parade my sick face in front of you. Well, let's just get straight to the tutorial that I got for you here. Today we're going to be talking about sketching and how to beat this common fear among artists we all have about loosen up your sketching. I feel like it doesn't need a lot of talking because we all have this, fear of the first page in this beautiful, clean sketchbook that you don't want to ruin. So today I want to talk a little bit about how to beat this fear, how to kind of avoid not sketching just because you're afraid it's not going to be perfect. How kind of absurd this thought is, because sketchbook is something you're supposed to ruin, something you're supposed to stain. It's not supposed to be perfect. So this is something we're going to learn how to achieve during this little video tutorial. And before I start, I just wanted to say that the Zen Art Supplies family already got a really cool blog post for you. I'm gonna link it in the description down below, in the description box below the video, so you can go and check it out. There's really helpful advice there as well. I'm just going to talk about something that works for me usually when I sketch. You can see in front of me is the Zen Art Supplies sketchbook. It's this tiny, really comfortable, and you see already not so perfect sketchbook that I have from Zen Art Supplies. And the reason why I like it so much, it's because it just deals with so many diverse techniques and media. You can mix pretty much whatever you want without being afraid that it's going to bleed to the other side of the paper. The only exception you can see here is the alcohol marker. That is really something really specific. You're supposed to use a very specific paper for that anyway. What I like to do when I first have a sketchbook is because we're all so afraid that it's this perfect, beautiful little book that we really want to turn out beautifully. So one of the possibilities is that I, as you can see here, leave one first page blank, I guess. I know it's kind of silly, but it kind of, takes out the pressure of making it perfect all of a sudden. Sometimes I even start in the middle, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to sketch here, I'm starting in the middle, and then I'm just gonna create my sketches really opening on random pages, not necessarily like following page by page. So this is kind of something that might help. Just open your sketchbook on any random page and start sketching in the middle. So this way, if you create something terrible, it's kind of stuck in here, so you can always go back in here and create something more beautiful. And when you show it to your friends or to your followers, you can always just start with this pretty page and not show the damaged ones. Also, what I do is sometimes I kind of tape the pages that I don't like. So this is something you can do as well. You don't have to feel pressured, because you can always hide the sketches that you don't like by taping them together with double-sided scotch tape. Also, what I sometimes like to do is I take the first page and I start with something really ugly. Like, I just not necessarily know what I'm doing. I'm just like, creating some sort of mess, and then out of this I'm trying to maybe try to find some shapes and forms that I like. Usually it doesn't turn out great, so this kind of takes out also the pressure of creating something beautiful, because I know now that I've ruined the first page, this notebook is definitely not going to be anything nice, so I can just go ahead and create something that I don't care for me. And I think that it's supposed to be the same for you, at least for some time. Sketchbook is supposed to be your working book. It's your like copybook, where you're just doing, you know, some type of preparatory work before you start a real painting, or you just want to feel loose, or you just don't have any time to create anything decent. If you feel like you want to sketch something but you don't know what, this is something I like to do. So we're gonna start working with some materials here. And what really helps a lot is, I feel like, is mixing some of the techniques and media in one sketchbook. So here I'm going to show you how sometimes, if I have absolutely no idea what I want to create, but I just feel like putting some colors to paper, this is how I'm doing it. Why not start with some water-soluble pastels, which I really like, because they're just, you know, pencils and at the same time watercolor, which is kind of really cool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and maybe add some of this. This is a sort of brush pen that I bought in Korea, and I kind of like this random marks it leaves. I kind of love mark making in general, where you just don't care about what you're creating. So what I like to do then is just take sort of water brush and just add some water to whatever I just did and see what's gonna happen. You can also create some sort of splashes, you know, just have fun with whatever you're having here. Some watercolor pencil, why not? It creates some nice diversity of the mark making here. So sometimes I kind of love just, you know, just blah blah blah. Just do this. I would like to go a little more detailed about some shapes. So I'll just go ahead and maybe add some watercolor to it. So once I'm like blah and, you know, and just like don't care, and I did all this damage to this page, this is where I start to have some ideas. So what I like to do after that is, because this page doesn't really matter, I've just experimented a little more with it, and for the sake of it drying quicker, I'm just doing some soaking. When you start working, some ideas start popping into your head, and right now I kind of feel like I have this sort of weird pattern like feel, like I want to fill my sketchbook with sort of the same pattern. Now what is the next most popular and common thing that I like to draw is flowers. They are so easy to create with watercolor, it's almost a crime not to try. So sometimes I just go ahead and block in these big shapes that are looking like petals. And sometimes I'm even taking these watercolor pencils and I'm sort of creating more edgy shapes. Okay, so why not move on to the next page? Sometimes I do a lot of pages in a row. It's just because I'm having so much fun. Interesting thing to do is to come back to the page that you don't really like and try to make it work, which kind of sometimes can turn out into something really cool. What's also cool sometimes is wiping. And this paper allows it, not too many times, but it does. Maybe instead of wiping, you can do blotting. See? Didn't even come through. And some texture. Let's see, maybe a little face. So that's cool. Kind of creates a little interest here on this paper. You see how the layers here create interest? So it means that whatever you do, you can never ruin your sketch. You know, there's no such thing as a mistake because you can always make it work. And again, it didn't bleed. So the paper kind of crunches a little bit, but the color doesn't bleed. So now I want to go back to this one, and maybe I came up with some idea that I might like for this little guy. This is kind of cute. And look, this little guy here looks like a half an apple. So literally, you know, just to get inspired, you have to start doing something. I'm just going to take some acrylics again, since they worked so well for me. So maybe I like the ideas of white flowers here. So again, this is watercolor pencils, the same I use in here. There's this sort of really random background going on, which I wouldn't be able to create probably if I didn't make all these mistakes in the beginning. And maybe I'll just add some sort of red little flowers or berries or whatever this is. So I kind of like the diversity of textures in here. I think I'm gonna leave it at that. So I think I'm going to finish with my tutorial here. Hopefully you kind of have, there you go, just creating some more texture while I'm saying goodbye. Really cool thing that I did with the piece of paper. My sketchbook routine is really messy, and it's really important that you kind of take the pressure off whatever you're doing in the sketchbook and experiment and have fun with it, because you might just end up, if not with anything worthy showing anyone, but just with some interesting results of mixing media and some maybe interesting things that are happening on paper that you would like to put in a bigger edition work. And also you might just find inspiration when you start working on something so small and you're being brave. You just start experimenting and finding all this sort of, you know, forms and shapes and colors combinations that might inspire you to do something with this huge or bigger canvas that you have sitting in the corner. Really don't take your art seriously, because that will help you to make it so much better. Hopefully this was helpful, you guys. If you have any questions, please make sure to leave them down below in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer and help you out. Also, if you do create some interesting sketches, don't forget to tag Zen Art Supplies so we can check it out and give you some feedback on that. So thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for more. Bye.